Captain Alex Morgan adjusted the straps on his exploration harness as he moved cautiously through the dense alien jungle. The thick foliage pressed against his shoulders, leaves scraping his face while the air buzzed with strange insect-like creatures whose chirps echoed like distant music. He paused to take a deep breath, savoring the mix of oxygen and the sharp, sweet smell of alien blooms. This planet, Zithra 9, was known for its unpredictable terrain, rare minerals, and exotic flora. Humans had only recently begun mapping it, and Alex had been assigned a solo mission to locate and catalog energy crystals rumored to exist deep in the northern jungle. He checked his scanner again, the small holographic screen flickering with readings of energy concentrations beneath the forest floor. According to the data, he was getting close. The terrain grew more treacherous as he ventured further. Thick vines twisted around towering alien trees and roots jutted out like ancient, gnarled hands. Every step required careful attention, and he had grown accustomed to the constant awareness that the jungle seemed alive, almost watching him. Suddenly, a sound cut through the ambient jungle noise, a cry, high-pitched and urgent, unlike any wildlife he had encountered. Alex froze. It was faint but unmistakable. Someone or something was in trouble. He instinctively followed the sound, pushing aside hanging vines, his boots sinking slightly into the damp, soft ground. The cries grew louder, more frantic. He rounded a bend and stopped short. Before him was a scene that made his heart race. A young alien girl, small and lithe, with shimmering emerald skin and eyes that glowed softly in the dim light, was struggling in a patch of quicksand. Her delicate limbs flailed, and the more she moved, the deeper she sank. Around her, the jungle floor appeared solid, but this patch was a trap, deadly and invisible until it was too late. Her voice carried urgency and fear, but also something primal, an instinctive call for help that transcended language. Alex didn't hesitate. He stripped off his backpack, grabbed a thick vine nearby, and edged closer. "Hold on, I've got you," he shouted, hoping the girl could understand his intent. She looked up at him with wide, panicked eyes, and he saw her clawed fingers gripping the edge of the quicksand, trembling. The slime-like substance crept up her legs and torso with alarming speed. He wrapped the vine around a nearby sturdy tree, anchoring it, and then lunged, stretching his arms to grab her. The girl's struggles nearly pulled him in, but he held fast, his boots digging into the muddy ground. With a surge of strength and careful balance, he managed to grip her waist and drag her backward. The quicksand sucked at his boots, threatening to drag him down, but he held on. Finally, with a final heave, she was free, collapsing on the firm ground beside him. Both of them lay panting for a moment, the adrenaline still coursing through their veins. Alex quickly assessed her condition. She was covered in sticky mud, bruised and exhausted, but alive. He reached into his pack and pulled out a first aid kit, gently cleaning the cuts and scrapes on her arms and legs. She flinched at the touch initially, but gradually relaxed as he worked, sensing his calm and care. "I'm Alex," he said softly, not knowing if she could understand him. He gestured to himself, then pointed to her. "Your name?" The girl hesitated, then spoke a series of melodic alien syllables that sounded like wind chimes in a storm. Alex tried to repeat them, but his tongue twisted awkwardly. She tilted her head and gave a faint smile, approving his effort. "Lyra," she said finally in broken common, the word tinged with her accent. "Lyra," Alex repeated. "It's okay. You're safe now." As she rested, he looked around. The jungle was silent except for the occasional distant rustle of creatures unseen. He had been warned that Zithra 9's jungles were unpredictable, but this encounter was unexpected. Saving a being from quicksand was one thing, but encountering an intelligent alien alone and vulnerable was entirely different. Lyra finally spoke again, her words fragmented but understandable. She gestured toward the dense trees behind them, then to herself, indicating the quicksand had trapped her while she was running from something, or someone. Alex nodded. He guessed it didn't matter now. She was safe. The sun was beginning to sink, filtering through the canopy in streaks of golden green. Alex knew he couldn't stay here long. Night in Zithra 9's jungle brought more than darkness. Predators prowled and the temperature dropped quickly. He offered Lyra his jacket, which she accepted with cautious gratitude. She clutched it tightly around her small frame, shivering slightly. "Can you walk?" Alex asked, helping her to her feet. She nodded and leaned on him for support. Step by step, they moved toward a safer clearing he had noticed earlier. The journey was slow. Lyra was weak, and Alex needed to be vigilant for predators. Along the way, he noticed subtle details of her appearance. Small bioluminescent markings along her arms, delicate fins on her ears, and eyes that seemed to absorb light. She was not just intelligent, she was remarkable. When they reached the clearing, Alex decided they needed to rest before he could consider the next steps. He set up a small shelter using his portable tent, and they huddled inside. Lyra's breathing gradually steadied, and she began to mimic Alex's movements as he checked the equipment. "You, safe now," he said gently. Lyra looked at him with wide eyes, then produced a small, smooth crystal from her necklace, offering it to him. He accepted it, studying the intricate patterns etched into its surface. It glowed faintly, pulsing with an energy he could feel but not yet understand. Thanks, Alex said, unsure of how else to respond. Lyra nodded, her expression conveying trust and gratitude. It was clear that this small act of kindness, saving her life, had already forged a bond between them. Night fell, and the jungle came alive with the sounds of nocturnal creatures. Alex kept watch, noting every rustle, every distant call. Lyra, though exhausted, stayed alert, occasionally glancing at him with a mix of curiosity and respect. He realized she was more than just a helpless child. She was intelligent, resourceful, and part of a culture he didn't yet understand. By dawn, Lyra was ready to move again. She gestured toward the east, toward the hills she called home. Alex understood. He couldn't leave her here alone. But he also knew his mission required him to continue. He debated briefly, then made a decision. He would guide her part of the way and ensure she reached a safer location near her home. As they traveled, Alex noticed signs of Lyra's people, giant footprints, remnants of camps, and faint symbols etched into trees. She became increasingly animated, pointing to landmarks and speaking in her language. Though he didn't understand most of it, the tone was proud, protective, and commanding. He realized that she was the daughter of someone important, a chief, perhaps. Finally, after hours of careful travel, they reached the edge of a large valley. Lyra pointed down toward a village filled with towering structures that shimmered with alien light. The settlement was bustling with activity, and the sight brought a smile to her face. She turned to Alex, hands clasped in a gesture of gratitude. Alex smiled back. "You'll be safe here," he said. She nodded, then pressed the glowing crystal into his hand again. Come back," she said. Alex frowned slightly, confused. You what?" "Come back," she repeated, smiling. "Thank you, bring friends." Before he could ask more, she ran toward the village, disappearing among the towering alien structures. Alex watched her go, feeling a strange mix of satisfaction and curiosity. Who were her people? Why had she emphasized bringing friends? And what would her return mean? He turned back toward the jungle, continuing his mission, unaware that his simple act of bravery had already set in motion events far beyond his imagination. Somewhere in that alien village, news of a human saving the chief's daughter was spreading quickly, and Lyra's promise to return was not an idle one. The jungle seemed quieter now, almost expectant. Alex adjusted his pack and walked on, unaware that days later, everything he thought he knew about Zithra 9, about survival and about interspecies bonds, would be challenged in ways he could never have anticipated. As he moved through the forest, he felt the pendant in his pocket, the small crystal Lyra had given him warm against his fingers. It pulsed faintly, almost like a heartbeat, and for the first time he realized that his mission was no longer just about exploration. It was about connection, courage, and the unpredictable ripple effects of a single act of heroism. The forest canopy opened slightly, revealing a distant view of the alien village, still quiet in the early morning light. Somewhere within it, Lyra's eyes were watching him, unafraid, alert, and already planning. Alex's heart quickened. He didn't know it yet, but the human who had saved an alien child from Quicksand was about to become a central figure in a story that would bridge worlds, cultures, and species in ways he could never have imagined. Days passed, and Captain Alex Morgan continued his exploration of Zithra 9, unaware of the extraordinary events unfolding behind him. The jungle had returned to its normal rhythm, yet a quiet anticipation lingered in the air. Somewhere deep in the valley, Lyra had shared the story of the human who had saved her life. Her voice carried urgency and awe as she recounted every detail to the elders and warriors of her clan. The Tharkai, a proud and formidable alien species, were not easily impressed, but this act of bravery had captured their attention. Lyra's father, Chief Veyron, listened intently as she spoke. His green-tinged scales rippled in thought, and his glowing eyes softened for the first time in days. "You say the human risked himself for you?" he asked, his voice resonating like rolling thunder. "Yes, father." He did not hesitate. "He saved me when no one else could," Lyra replied, her words firm and unwavering. "We must meet him. We must thank him." Veyron's eyes narrowed thoughtfully. "A human here? Few have ventured this far into our lands, and to show such courage, it is rare. Very well. We shall go." By the next morning, a small army of Tharkai warriors gathered at the edge of the jungle, their bioluminescent markings glowing faintly in the rising sun. They were a sight both terrifying and awe-inspiring, tall, strong, and elegantly armored, their weapons shaped from rare metals unique to Zithra 9. At their center was Lyra, her small frame brimming with confidence as she led the group. Alex was in the middle of cataloging a cluster of rare crystals when he sensed a change in the jungle. The air seemed charged, and even the creatures became unusually silent. He froze, scanning the surroundings. Then he noticed shadows moving rapidly through the trees, large coordinated movements that were not the typical wildlife. Before he could react, the Tharkai warriors emerged from the foliage. Alex's heart skipped a beat. He had expected maybe one or two to thank him, but this was an entire clan, armed and alert. Their presence was both intimidating and awe-inspiring. Lyra ran ahead, waving her arms to signal peace. "Alex," she called, her voice clear. "It is me. I promise to return." Alex stepped forward cautiously, raising his hands to show he meant no harm. "Lyra, you came back," he said, astonished. "And you brought all your people?" Lyra nodded, smiling. "They wanted to meet the human who saved me." Chief Veyron approached, his massive frame casting a shadow over Alex. Despite his intimidating appearance, there was a calm authority in his gaze. "Human," he said, his voice deep and resonant. "You have done what few would dare. You saved my daughter from certain death. For that, you have our gratitude." Alex felt a mix of relief and pride. I didn't think I was doing anything special. I just acted," he said, trying to downplay his heroism. Veyron's expression softened. "In our culture, bravery and compassion are the highest virtues. You have honored us all. Your courage has earned our respect." The clan lowered their weapons slightly, signaling that they meant no threat. Alex noticed that the warriors were watching him carefully, their eyes scanning for any sign of deceit. It was clear that trust had to be earned, but the chief's approval meant everything. Lyra stepped closer to Alex, her small hand brushing against his arm. "They are my family. I could not return alone," she said simply. Alex nodded, understanding the depth of her words. He realized that saving her life had forged a bond far stronger than he had imagined, one that connected not just two individuals, but entire cultures. Chief Veyron gestured for Alex to follow him. "Come, you will eat with us. You will rest, and you will see what your actions have set in motion." Alex followed, careful to match the pace of the clan. The journey led them through the jungle to the heart of the Tharkai village, where towering structures shimmered with a strange, natural light. The buildings seemed to grow organically from the ground, their surfaces smooth yet alive with subtle movement. The village was bustling with activity, yet a palpable respect hung in the air. Humans were rare visitors, and Alex felt the weight of every gaze upon him. Inside the village, Alex was offered food and drink, alien fruits that glowed faintly and emitted soft aromas, and a nutrient-rich liquid that tasted sweet and energizing. Lyra guided him to a seat of honor, signaling that he was to be treated as a guest of the chief himself. As they ate, Alex learned more about the Tharkai people. Through gestures, simple words, and Lyra's translations, he discovered that they were a clan-oriented species, valuing honor, loyalty, and courage above all else. They had survived countless dangers on Zithra 9, mastering the jungle and its many perils, and now they had chosen to honor him as one of their own. After the meal, Chief Veyron stood, calling the attention of the entire clan. "All of you, look upon this human." He did not seek reward or recognition. He acted from courage and compassion alone. Let his deeds remind us that strength is not measured by weapons or numbers, but by the heart. A cheer rose from the warriors, their voices resonating through the village. Alex felt a warmth spread through him. Pride, yes, but also a sense of responsibility. He had not realized that his actions could influence so many. Lyra ran up to him again, holding out a small device she had taken from her personal collection. "For you," she said. Alex took it, examining it closely. It was a small holographic communicator, capable of transmitting signals across vast distances. "It helps you," she said, smiling. Alex nodded, understanding that this gift was more than a tool. It was a symbol of trust, of alliance. "Thank you, Lyra. This means more than I can say." The chief then spoke again. "Human, there is more to your journey. There are dangers in the jungle you have yet to face. Our knowledge can guide you. Our warriors can protect you. And together we may achieve what neither species could alone." Alex felt a surge of excitement. He had come to Zithera 9 expecting to catalog crystals and return home, but now his mission had transformed. He was part of something larger, an alliance between humans and the Tharkai, forged in courage and respect. Over the next few days, Alex traveled with the clan, learning their ways, observing their skills, and sharing his own knowledge of human technology and tactics. He watched as they navigated treacherous terrain with ease, scaled cliffs, and crossed rivers that seemed impossible to traverse. In return, he showed them methods for analyzing energy crystals, using sensors and improving their techniques with human tools. The bond between Alex and Lyra grew stronger with each passing day. She was intelligent, curious, and fearless, often challenging him to think in ways he never had before. Together, they discovered a hidden valley filled with energy crystals, far more abundant and powerful than he had imagined. The Tharkai clan marveled at the discovery, realizing the potential of this resource for their people. As they worked, Alex reflected on the events that had brought him here. A single act of bravery, saving a life, had changed everything. He had earned allies, learned new skills, and seen a world far beyond what he had known. The Tharkai, once strangers, had become friends, mentors, and partners. One evening, as the twin suns of Zethera 9 set over the jungle, Alex stood beside Lyra on a high cliff overlooking the valley. The crystals below shimmered like a sea of stars, reflecting the fading light. "I never imagined this," he said quietly. Lyra looked at him, her eyes glowing softly. "Neither did I," she replied. "But courage, it changes everything. You showed that, human, and now we are together, stronger than before." Alex smiled, feeling a profound sense of connection. He realized that the universe was vast and unpredictable, but acts of bravery and kindness created bonds that no distance, no danger, and no difference in species could break. In the days that followed, Alex and the Tharkai clan continued their exploration and collaboration, uncovering resources, mapping the jungle, and forging a partnership that would echo across worlds. Alex had come to Zithera 9 as an explorer seeking crystals, but he left as a hero, a friend, and a bridge between species, a testament to the power of courage, compassion, and the human spirit. The story of the human who saved an alien chief's daughter spread through the village and beyond, becoming a legend among the Tharkai. And though Alex eventually returned to his own people, the bond remained. Lyra and her clan had promised they would come to his world someday, just as he had promised to return. In that moment, standing on the cliff with the glow of the crystals illuminating their faces, Alex understood something profound. The universe was not defined by boundaries, species, or technology. It was defined by actions, small, courageous acts that had the power to change the fate of entire worlds, and he had taken the first step,